Soulja Boy tough.
Welcome to another episode of Rap in Order. I'm First Class Regg.
I'm Taurian B.
Today we got Funny Julius joining us.
Hello, hello.
And we've been blessed with the presence of Felix. And today we're covering Soulja Boy's debut album, SouljaBoyTellHim.com. It was released in 2007. It featured, of course, Crank That Soulja Boy. It debuted at number 4 on the charts. It was released through his Stacks on Deck label with College Park Music and Interscope Records. He only had two main features on this album, which were A-Rab, his main collaborator at the time, problematic name, but whatever, and I-15. Those are the only 2 features on this album, but it debuted at number 4. It sold over 117,000 copies the first week. It received generally positive reviews back then.
That's what Wikipedia said?
That's from my notes that I took.
They hated that album. They said, like, what did they say? They said that album was tart or some shit like that. Like, it was some word that they used that I read. That album was received so poorly because they thought like it was really immature and like a lot of the shit that he said was like problematic, but like nobody paid it any mind. I'm sorry. Like once the writers found out what Superman that whole meant, they were fucking livid.
Oh yeah, well you're probably right. So how do you guys feel about the album? I'll get into that.
I would like to start off. So listening to the album, it feels like a time capsule. When Soulja Boy came out, I really wasn't on it because I don't know. I was at that time I was really driven on like not being like kind of like kiddie, and I was already out of high school and shit. That's how old I am, guys. But I can't say by listening to this album I realized that Soulja Boy, like, we laughed at him when he was like, yo, like, I had the greatest comeback ever, or I'm one of the most influential rappers that ever lived. He is. Like, even like with the challenges now, I feel like the Soulja Boy started like all the challenges that we have now that are going viral on the internet. Like, he is the epitome of the child of the internet. Like, he did everything on the internet, and what he did with this project was he took a viral video and made it like a huge deal. And he was already prominent on the internet and got popular on like chat rooms and stuff like that. And like, he's out of here. And from like, you know, me like going looking at shit, I'm noticing, I forgot that he's on Interscope Records with Jimmy Iovine. So like, you know, like we're thinking like all of these antics, like, yo, he's going to get dropped. He's not going to have a label soon. He's going to look crazy. But he's on Interscope Records and he's like the golden child over there. Like, no matter what you say, his production is still very good. He still knows how to give you a hit whenever he feels like it. And I think this is why he's so confident in his interviews. And we be thinking that he's bugging the fuck out. I think he knows more than we do. Like, I think he always knows what's the next step. Sometimes it might not work out, but he knows what's coming next. And listening to this project, like, I'm just like, shit, everything that's happening on the internet now, she got a dunk, women shaking their asses. Crank That Soulja Boy, like every other week we got a new challenge that somebody has to do to mimic it or whatever like that. And obviously now we have more platforms, but imagine if we had TikTok when Crank That Soulja Boy came out, or she got a dunk. Mm-hmm. Imagine that shit. This nigga would be a billionaire by now, bro. Like,
agreed. It did kind of set, and just to like go off of what you were just saying, like it did kind of set the tone of what we're going through now. And when he came out at the time, like there was something so self-made about him that I liked. Mm-hmm. I was 2 years removed from high school at this time, but at that time I was still making like mixtapes and shit. So like people would hit me up and one of the main songs that people wanted on their mixtape was Donk or Crank That or Ya. So like all of that shit I saw happening, and like his progression was just crazy. Like, he's on the cover of his album. Did we ever establish that on his glasses, is that whiteout on his glasses? Yeah, I think his name is written in whiteout on his glasses. So it was like something like so like just self-made, the establishment of him it seemed like not that much thought went into it, but everything was just working out the way that he wanted it to. Like, that's what was just so dope about it. And then I distinctly remember going on YouTube and looking for music or whatever and typing in, back then, if you type in a song like 50 Cent in the Club and you click it expecting that, you would get Cranked That. Like that's how he was pushing that song. And I thought that was fucking genius. So that's how he drove up the views for that song and was causing so much buzz. It was never heard of. I want to hear from Julius.
Boy, this album was a classic. This album was a classic, boy.
Oh,
coming straight out the gate. We got like it's just what what everybody's been saying. The Crank That Soulja Boy, we getting the dance challenges now. The donks, the donk song, everybody making a twerk song. Like, I remember when this came out, and I was like, "Yo, I gotta hear this bullshit." And yo, it was for this era. It was definitely for that era. This has to go into the hip hop Hall of Fame of albums. Like without Soulja Boy making this album, I don't see a lot of things coming into fruition for hip hop. Like, he set that goal of, what certain artists need or what certain rappers need to, stand out. And he just created the style. Like, he is literally like a hip hop father. If you really want to put it out there, he stands with. Let me try to make the audience mad. He stands with maybe like Kool Herc. Kool Herc.
He stands with Kool Herc?
Either Kool Herc or Rakim or Nas. Like, he fathered the style.
Okay, so you're saying he stands with them in the vein of, or the fact that he fathered the style, just like those, just like
not lyrics. Now, hold on.
I know. I'm not trying to trip you up. I'm just trying to make it clear.
Yeah, it's like for like what, maybe the 2000s. Who was like who's great? Like a T-Pain with the auto-tune wave, right? This is Soulja Boy with the viral wave.
All right. Okay. I think that makes sense. Felix, what you got?
Soulja Boy, I don't know, man. He created obnoxious music, man. It was beautiful. It was like the voice of the kids. Like, his music in this album it's such a, back in those days, music was getting too polished and too old. A lot of artists wanted to sound like the sounds, or I don't know. It took the wave of platinum early 2000s and try to keep up with the internet around like 06, 07. And a lot of music was just tailoring to what was already out. So there was a lot of explosions of one sound. There was snap, crunk, 50s melodic hooks. Even Kanye, it was all polished. There was a lot of polished music, and Soulja Boy just wanted to be disruptive. And this album if you put one of these songs on at a setting, it's going to affect people either in a good way or a bad way. And I think that's exactly what he wanted. And, it's amazing. It's amazing that, because if you listen to the album with him trying to just be a kid and just like, like just in your face and obnoxious, it's fucking hilarious, bro. Like, we'll talk about some more of the songs, but he was just like sort of trolling before trolling, but more in a kiddish way. Because he sampled that Rich Boy song again, just to make a song about report cards.
Oh yeah.
And that's what a lot of I want to say funny rappers or like funny artists, comedic artists, whatever they were doing like at that time. It's like Weird Al Yankovic. You know what he does. Like I definitely appreciated Soulja Boy doing that because this was like super funny, and you know I was a kid with other kids in school and we were failing too, so I could relate.
Yeah. All right, so we can just get right into the album. We don't have to get into the intro, but it does perfectly lead us into Crank That, a huge hit, viral before viral was a thing. It's produced by Soulja Boy himself. What can we say about this song that hasn't already been said, right? I mean, it was a huge record. Like this song was everywhere. Nobody knew who this kid was at the time. But despite us not knowing who this kid was, he had a dance attached to it. He had everybody doing the shit in the video. Like it seemed like everybody in the video was hip to who he was. I think that's what worked about it. Everybody in the video was so hip to who he was and his movement that it just kind of blossomed into his own thing. And like it's kind of like what Taurian was saying before, where this was a viral dance before that was even a thing. Like this was 2007. So
you want to know what's funny?
What can we say about this?
Remember when Ice-T said that Soulja Boy ruined hip hop?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
So like he was wrong. Like this is like one of the most hip hop songs you could ever think of. Like I think that this is one of the greatest hip hop songs ever made. I'm not saying it's the most lyrical, but what I'm saying is that like hip hop was originated in the park in the South Bronx to make people come together and dance and be happy. That's what it was about. I understand that Ice-T made gangster music and he wanted all that real shit and everything like that. But nah, like hip hop is about a good time and the youth. So, you know, Crank That kind of embodied that. And that was a really, really big deal. And I remember when it came out, like, think about all of the imitators. Remember Crank That Batman? Remember fucking all the other Crank That's that came out after that?
Mm-hmm.
And they were like teams of kids battling, wearing these long ass t-shirts, just doing these videos. Like what he did, like think about it, like there were probably kids that were more likely to not be in a gang because they were too busy making their Crank That videos.
Yeah.
Battle, dancing and shit like that. That was very hip hop.
Did you just say that Soulja Boy or helping the kids stay out of the streets?
Yeah. For real. Think about it. Like back in the day, they used to be like, "We not gonna fight. We gonna B-boy clap."
I still remember when because I used to visit Kanye's blog religiously. Kanye had a blog back then. This was like graduation going towards 808's era of Kanye. And I remember when Ice-T said that, it went everywhere. And a lot of hip hop enthusiasts was agreeing with Ice-T. But then Kanye came out with a whole blog, and I'm gonna read it. And the title of it was, "I ain't got nothing against Ice-T or nobody for that matter, but I got to ride with Soulja Boy." He said, "Soulja Boy is fresh as hell and is actually the true meaning of what hip hop is supposed to be. He came from the hood, made his own beats, made a new saying, new sound, and a new dance with one song. He had all of America rapping this summer. If that ain't hip hop, then what is? A bunch of wannabe keep it real rappers that ain't even relevant, recycling samples, trying to act like it's 96 again. And all they do is hate on new shit. Niggas always talk about the golden age, but for a 13-year-old kid, this is the golden age. That song was so dope because everything he said had a hidden meaning. That's Nas level shit. He just put it over some steel drums, which is also some Nas shit, if you had the second album cassette with the bonus track Silent Murder on it. In closing, new niggas get your money. New niggas get your money. Keep this shit fresh and original. Ain't no fucking rules to this shit. And that's what real hip hop is to me." And that's one of the like most profound, well thought out Kanye statements we've ever got. And it's about Soulja Boy.
Thanks to Soulja
Boy. You know, so like that shit always stood out to me because it was like, all right, everything about that is right. Like he made his own beat, he made everything. Only thing that's like that kind of just ruffled feathers was that, you know, you're mentioning Nas in the same breath as Soulja Boy. And for hip hop enthusiasts, they're just like, what? You can't do that. But it's like, yeah, it's the same shit.
Wow, it's crazy how I didn't know he said that, and I said that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the beat though. Like this beat is crazy. I think the song starts with the beat, bro. Like it sounds like a crazy tripped out video game. Like doom, doom, doom. Like it's just I don't even know what inspired that beat from him. Like I don't know. It's I never heard a beat like that before in my life.
And the way it just comes on, it gets your attention. Like it's just like, what?
There's never been a setting. I don't care. There's never been a setting that I've been in, and I've been in like a lot of like settings because my grandparents are Masons and Eastern Stars. So I'm like I've been at like halls and stuff like that. And every time this song gets played, like the older people will look for the youngest person in the room and ask them, do they know how to do it so they can do it. It's like they're like, isn't this like the new electric slide? And I'm like, I don't know how to do this shit. I'm old like you.
You guys remember the fake Lil Wayne song to this?
There was a fake I did not.
Yeah, like someone, because Wayne was just on everything, and I think someone uploaded Lil Wayne Crank That, and it was a guy impersonating Lil Wayne, but it was kind of fire though.
Damn you, Lil Wayne, for not giving us the Crank That remix, the weed mix.
I'll send it to y'all. It's hilarious.
So I guess we can get into the next song, which is Sidekick. Sidekick is produced by Swole and John Boy. This is, needless to say, Soulja Boy's ode to sidekicks. This is so 2007. It's crazy. Everybody had a sidekick at the time. This nigga talks about T-Mail. He talks about everything with a sidekick. It's like there was no foresight of technology changing back then. It's just he dedicates a whole song to this phone.
I mean, the phone was legendary.
Huh?
The phone was legendary.
It is a legendary phone. It is.
Up there. It's like top 5.
Yeah, it is.
I missed that wave. I had a Nextel chirp.
It is. I had an XL.
I had a sidekick. I never had a Nextel.
I did.
Everything that the sidekick did, despite all the shit that it did, the battery life was amazing. That shit lasted. You had email access. You had AIM.
The ball, bro. The ball.
Bruh, AIM?
The scroller.
Remember when the ball got stuck?
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yo, no shade, Felix. When I met you, you still had a sidekick.
Yeah, I love sidekick.
Yeah, I remember he used to say that. He used to be like, yo, I love this shit. He used to say that. Because when I met Felix, he had a sidekick.
Yeah. And that was what, 2000, I mean, that was what, 2009?
9, 10, yeah.
Yeah. I met all of you guys in like 2010. And Felix had
skipped the BlackBerry era because I held on to the sidekick.
Yeah, bro. I went from a Nextel to a BlackBerry. That's what I did. Yeah. But yeah, I never I didn't understand it. I didn't understand the whole sidekick wave. It didn't really make much sense to me. I wasn't a chat room guy growing up. I was still like playing sports all the time and shit. So I was just like basketball, just talk on my phone. That's it. I was a little behind in technology.
Yeah, I loved my sidekick because I mean, it took me a while to get a sidekick, and my first sidekick was a I forget the name of it, but it was the cheaper version. The one.
Oh, ID.
Yes, I had that one.
I had that bullshit from
my first one. Yeah, because that was the first time that like I started paying my own bill. So I started out with that one, and yeah, man, sidekick was revolutionary. Going through the stress of having to delete T-mails because the shit was just too full and you wanted to receive new pictures and shit. It was a lot. It was a time.
It's risky. It's so risky deleting. What if you deleted a gem for something like, what's this bullshit?
Yeah.
For no reason?
Yeah.
The nudes I used to get and put it to the T-mail. Oh my goodness.
They need to have a T-mail archive, but that shit is just gone.
Nah.
I want to go look. I want to have a quick look.
Nah, if I went to go to my T-mail archive, I'd be arrested for something wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe.
Because you got to remember, I was a teenager back then.
Yeah.
So if I had opened up a separate a type of email, exactly, they can keep the archives where it's at.
You're right. I guess you're right. You're right.
This song is really obnoxious, though.
It's super obnoxious. Super obnoxious. It just takes you back, you know. But I guess that's all we'll say about that one.
Yeah.
What comes up next? Let's see. Next song is Snap and Roll. Snap and Roll is, let me see. The ones on the track lists online are like jumbled all over the place.
It is.
Yeah, but it's produced by Soulja himself. How we feel about Snap and Roll? I mean, this kind of fits in that era too.
Atlanta, like straight Atlanta dances.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was D4L inspired. He was a huge D4L fan, and you could tell that he really loved Shorty Low. Like Shorty Low was like one of his favorite rappers. Like, so I think that is really dope that he made a song and pretty much like paying homage to one of his favorite groups and rappers. Like for the era that they started, like because he came right after that, right after the whole Snap and Roll and Stop, Pop and Drop It roll. Like he right after that, here he comes and he becomes like the biggest thing ever because he understood the internet better than anyone. Mm-hmm. That's another thing that people don't understand. Like when College Park like got him signed, like his kids were like telling him about like, you know, the Soulja Boy online, and he knew he had to get him signed to Interscope. And for me, my thing is anytime like you kind of like cultivate a certain kind of area of people, Interscope is always the best label to go to because their marketing dollars are so they kind of like pairing artists with like a making them the face of something. Like, you know how he paired in Death Row with gangster rap, like Snoop Dogg and everything like that. Like Interscope knows how to make, or Eminem, you know, for white teenage angst. Like they know how to pair an artist with that and market them, or like how they made like the Black Eyed Peas the face of commercial hip hop. Like they pair it really well. So Soulja Boy going to that label and College Park getting him signed over there was really smart. And this song is just another example of it. Like I said, man, all I can say is that this album is like a time capsule. I don't know how I'm going to rank this album because I wouldn't listen to this album unless I had to do it for Rap in Order, but I enjoyed it. I don't know. This is going to be tough.
No, yeah, I agree. As soon as we even started talking about this album, my mind went to the end and rating it. And I was like, what the fuck am I going to say? But that's just the ride that we're on.
Yeah, there's a sound song. There's like a sound. It sounds like a bird. I love how experimentative like Soulja Boy is on this album. But on Snap and Roll, it's like a bird flying down from above the studio. It's scary as fuck and amazing at the same time. Love that shit.
All right, so we'll get into the next song, which is Bapes. Bapes features A-Rap and it's produced by Soulja Boy. Another tribute song to Baby Nate.
This is really 2007.
Yeah, this is a tribute song.
This is it sounds like he just wrote down like what was hot at that time and just named the song after it.
Yeah, I got me some bathing apes. I got some apes.
Sounds like a 13-year-old made it. That's what it sounds like.
This used to be in the, y'all remember Jamster commercials?
Yeah.
Yeah, this song was in Jamster commercials to get niggas to buy ringtones. So that's how I remember it. But it was a big song on this album because it's a period piece. Like that's just what was popping at the time. Bathing Ape was dope. All of the shit that he talks about on this album was just dope. Like it, you know, it's his interpretation of everything that was dope at the time.
Yeah. And this is like, I feel like they gave Soulja Boy a lot of freedom with this album, but I think he kind of promised them kind of not remakes of other songs, but like stuff that's more digestible.
Agreed.
Yeah, so like this song reminds me a lot like
my bad. Can y'all hear that beeping in my background?
It's fine.
Okay. Kind of reminds me of like it's like a little kid, Little John. It's like a little
Yeah.
Little John. That's what it feels like.
And that's kind of the endearing thing about it too. It's like he's just making the best with what he has. Y'all seen that? Yeah. This remind me of y'all seen that Mariah Carey video that always goes around? I fucking love that video where she's like drunk and she's behind the DJ booth and she's like, I'm just doing the best with what I got. And she hits the button and All About the Benjamin starts playing. Yo, that video is amazing. But this just reminds me of like that because he's just really like giving it all with what he has. Like everything on this album feel like it was made in a basement. But we'll get into the next song, which is the next song Let Me Get Him?
Yeah.
Okay. I can't list. Let me get him. Let me get him. But man. I love the message in the beginning. I love the message in the beginning because it can be confusing. Like, yo, this song is not about like, violence or anything. It's not made to incite violence. Shootout is like a dance. Like, relax, guys. Yeah. So it's like, all right, I fuck with that because it did give you some type of advisory and it lets you know that he's aware of his target audience. Like,
yo, Felix,
what's up?
Why did Lil Wayne body this?
He did.
Why did Lil Wayne body this?
Shootout. Let me get him.
Son, like the beat on the song was amazing. Like Lil Wayne bodied the fuck out of this Lil Wayne remix. Like, son, like, bruh, like tambourines, like, yo, the setup was crazy. But yeah, man, Soulja as a producer, I wish he had focused more on, like, I want to say being a producer more, but especially like for other artists. I think he would have not saying thrive because he already did thrive, but I think he would have been higher up.
He would have been taken more seriously.
Yeah.
If he focused on production. I think at the time, like he had a lot of success, but he was seen as a kid, as a child. So like I think if he focused on production, it would be like, oh shit, this guy is like a jack of all trades type shit. Like this guy is really focused, even though he's still young.
He'll buy songs off of Soulja Boy though.
I think so too, but they don't say it.
Yeah.
I think he needs like a drop. Beats.
Yeah, it's Soulja Boy. Tell him why the fuck. I think he stopped doing that so he could sell it though, so some artists can like step away from it. I can't wait. I hope that we get. I hope Soulja Boy grows up. I would like to hear a mature album from Soulja Boy, and I'm not saying like real mature shit, but like I just want him to like.
You want a 444 from Soulja?
I can't explain it, but what I would like obviously still like club shit, but like adult shit, like all right, cool, like he's he's in his 30s now, like what is he rapping about now?
I think he tried it with didn't he have an album called The DeAndre Way? Like
that wasn't adult though. He still had it still was pretty much like the repetitive hooks and things like that, like so.
Okay,
I like that shit though. Shit, Young Draco be doing his thing, man. I mean, the production is always good on his albums. I'll never ever deny the production. So
yeah. But yeah, Let Me Get Him was dope. And it has this whole like cafeteria type feel to it, the beat at least. We'll get into the next one, which is Donk. Donk is the fourth single off this album and it's produced by Soulja himself.
Classic.
Even though this song is a classic, it doesn't get the notoriety of other ass-shaking songs. It doesn't get the respect of other ass-shaking songs.
You know why? Because Nicki Minaj came through, did what she did, and bodied the fuck out of this song. She made this song hers.
Yeah. I think, yeah.
Because when you hear it at a party, you will hear Soulja Boy's the Donk play, right? But then you will hear I was on the plane with Dwayne, and then it's a rap.
Yeah, she took that. Yeah, she took that song from him, man.
It's such a good song.
And this is why I'm going to repeat it. Soulja Boy should have really taken his producing skills to a higher plateau. He should have really zoned in on that. But, I'll let the past be the past.
Soulja Boy got a nice little verses.
Oh, boy. Yeah, boy. Boy, it's a long day for a lot of people against Soulja Boy.
He could hang with Bow Wow. He could.
I'm not.
He beats Bow Wow.
I don't know. That's a good versus though. That's a fire versus.
I already told you how I felt about Bow Wow, bro. Like I don't like a majority of his shit felt like kid bop music to me. So I'm here like that nigga plays bounce with me. I'm laughing at him. The fuck? He plays all that shit from Big Mama's house. I don't give a fuck about that.
Yeah, I guess you're right because like a lot of Soulja shit, it transitioned really well. Like you could play it in adulthood. And
tell me when was the last time you heard any of Bow Wow's music played in an adult club play setting?
Fresh as I'm is still goes. That's
bro. I understand that, but you will never hear like I guarantee you'll hear Soulja Boy songs in adult settings. You won't hear Fresh as I'm is.
Not yet.
The song that you might hear is Like You, and that's when the club is closing to let you know it's time to go home.
Yeah. Oh, and Let Me Hold You. Yeah, that's true.
I think the song would have been better received if it wasn't named Dunk.
Nah, you bugging. Nah, come on, you bugging.
Oh, because Donk is such a specific word for it. It's just so specific.
It's donkey. She got a donkey booty.
Yeah.
It's obnoxious, and I love it.
I think that's just established. He wanted that to be the slang.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like fatty girl.
Bro, all I'm saying is I'm shocked that no one has made the She Got a Dunk challenge.
I know.
I think like if you really think about it, like Soulja Boy, like I'm shocked that like I'm pretty sure there is a part of TikTok that Soulja Boy runs right now that we don't know about. That's like brewing.
Maybe.
Bro, do you know that like there was a small country in China that did the Soulja Boy at one time? That cranked that Soulja Boy at once? Just imagine it, bro. That had to be like 1 million people. You know it's mad at them over there. They just cranked that at once. Like what was it called? A flash dance? Like they did it all at once. It's crazy.
I think Soulja Boy is like going crazy right now a little bit. I don't know.
He's fine. I think he knows I think he's playing a joke. I think he's fine. I watched a lot of interviews before this.
He's paranoid.
I do think that he's paranoid, but I also think that he's completely fine. Like I watched a lot of his interviews, and like he breaks the fourth wall a lot. Like so, I think that he plays off of people thinking that I think that he is paranoid, but I also think that he plays off of people thinking that he's crazy as well. I think it's twice.
He's always had a great sense of humor, so I think he can play with that a lot.
There was an interview with Adam 22 where he was like, I'm not here to disrespect you, bro. And Soulja Boy was like, you better not be. And he looked at him mad serious, and then Soulja Boy just cracked up laughing. like relax, man, it's all good. Like I'm like, yo, he's in on it. Like everybody thinks he takes himself too serious. Nah, I think he just be fucking around, man. Like when he was telling everybody he was from Compton.
I want to know what happened with his wasn't he making a game console?
Yeah, I think he was, but I just think he spoke too soon about it.
He's probably still selling those shits.
Because like people ordered them and everything.
Yeah. People was ordering them. But that was just a confusing time because like he was going on all these promo runs but wasn't dropping nothing. It was weird. Like he went on this crazy run and he didn't even like drop a mixtape or anything. It was very weird. He just was going to all these places, giving them viral content with his interviews and not doing shit. But we'll get to the next song, which is Yeah. It's produced by Soulja, and this is, I want to know how many kids got in trouble for doing this at home.
Wow, trick.
I didn't get in trouble, but I definitely annoyed people.
Yo, middle schools must have been crazy during Soulja Boy.
Yeah, I'm not, yo,
bro.
Yo.
Blah, 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 blah.
No, I fucking love that, yo. Like, it's so hilarious, man.
Yeah, trick, yeah. Crazy.
Like, what would you even do if you were babysitting a kid? And he's like, yeah, trick, yeah.
I feel like he just made music for like kids that were put in ISS all the time. Like there was nothing wrong with them. They didn't have any like problems, but like they just acted crazy.
He's like hip hop SpongeBob.
I mean, I feel like he's pretty synonymous with SpongeBob. Like I like all the fake sneakers and shit like that. I feel like SpongeBob and Soulja Boy go hand in hand, man.
SpongeBob with the Gucci bandana.
Yeah. I would love a Soulja Boy and SpongeBob crossover cartoon.
I could see that happening.
Like a Soulja Boy Space Jam with SpongeBob and Patrick.
That'd be amazing.
We'll get into the next one, which is Pass It to A-Rab and features A-Rab. He was really going hard for this kid, trying to get him out here. I don't think A-Rab can really be spoken about in 2021 with the name A-Rab. But back then that was like his Spliff Star.
Yeah.
They were in a lot of World Star hip hop beefs.
Yeah. They really were.
Bruh, that is too accurate.
Yo, why were they in like a Airbnb just standing in front of like a door talking shit to each other? That shit was hilarious.
That was like, and you kind of just had to buy into the world of Soulja Boy to understand.
And then he lured Bow Wow in.
Oh, remember that beef? Oh my God, that was legendary. That every now and then that shit still drops. Like videos from that time drop.
I think he's attempted to fight every teen idol that was a teen idol during the time that he was a teen idol to show that he's a king of the teen idols, and I think it's hilarious because remember he tried to fight Chris Brown too out of nowhere.
Oh yeah, they were supposed to have a pay-per-view fight.
Yeah, because Chris Brown told him don't be liking Karuchi pics.
Yo, man, the silliest shit.
I really feel like Soulja Boy had like a vendetta. Like I'm gonna beat all these niggas' asses, so I'm the toughest teen idol of them all. I just think it's funny, man. I'm surprised. I'm shocked. Like I guarantee you, he was like, man, them B2K niggas not even working. They're not relevant no more. He probably would have tried to fight all four of them.
Has Soulja Boy ever done Wild 'N Out?
I think he has.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yes. That can't be Mandela effect. Hold on, let me see.
Watch that because I want to see what he's like when people joking on him.
Yeah, he was on Wild 'N Out. Yeah, he did Wild 'N Out a couple years ago. It looks like he did Wild 'N Out around the time he was doing all these interviews. Yeah, so it was fairly recent. But anyway, so we'll get into the next song, which is Soulja Girl, which was another single off this album. And it's produced by Collie Park.
I have a question. I have a question about the song.
Yeah.
Did this song come first, or did the Dreams Shorty is a 10 come first?
What year was Shorty is a 10?
Same year.
Huh.
Not sure. I don't know which one.
Like.
Yeah, they do.
Let's see. I'm looking it up.
You can be my soldier girl, walk it out. Woo-hoo-hoo, that's a
10 was first. It was released in July, and Soulja Girl came out in October.
A lot of I can hear it.
4 months.
If you want a 2007 wedding, this is the song for you. This is a song that you play at the first dance at your 2007 wedding.
And it's a good song. Like
it's a love song, so it had to like you know, little girls, the teenage girls, you know, in love and whatever. And this is I've heard this ringtone too many times, especially when they went off like in Klass.
Yeah.
He's really honed into the subject in the song, which is it's rare in this album. Besides him repeating the subject over and over. He's like structuring like a story. I thought it was pretty impressive for Soulja Boy.
Soulja Girl. I like that he still adds the you. But yeah, so we'll get into the next song, which is Booty Meat. Booty Meat is produced by Soulja Boy. How do we feel?
I hate that term, booty meat.
Booty Meat.
Yeah, it is weird.
Yeah, we got a friend that says it all the time, and I cringe every time he says it.
Booty Meat.
Booty meat.
I never hear anybody say that in real conversation. So
Me neither. I've never heard somebody ever say it. Like, never. But again, this is a 2007 beat, but I really really enjoyed the drums and like some of the bass. Like the drum pattern was like really really cool to me.
yeah.
Yeah, I really really enjoyed the beat. And Booty Meat is funny.
It's okay. That's maybe my least favorite song on them. Besides Pass It to A-Rap.
Pass it to A-Rap. But yeah, Booty Meat, I don't need at all. And that's funny. That's the first song that we like agree that like we don't need or we don't fuck with. But the next song is Report Card, features A-Rap, produced by Soulja Boy.
Throw some D's on that.
Yeah, so yeah, Report Card is very much like you can't. I dare you to try to go up to a kid in 2007 and tell them this song ain't shit. This is like their life. This is their life. Like he's
absolutely didn't connect.
This is his. Like he knew his demographic.
Yeah, he definitely did.
What year did Jaquan come out?
2005 or 2004?
End of 2004, beginning of 2005. Tipsy came out the spring of 2004, I believe.
Yeah, like so we did have just a wave of those rappers that targeted kids. That was like, and they themselves were like 16, 17.
Well, that's all JD did for like 2 decades.
Yeah, that's true.
Jaquan was JD's artist too, right?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, Jaquan was JD's artist. Yep.
Oh wow, that's fire.
Because he came out, but then when you got Jaquan's album, he was like talking about being homeless and shit. It's like,
yeah, Jaquan's album was like a shocker. Like you was like, wait a second, I ain't signed up for this. Like nigga, like let me go listen to Chingy album. This shit ain't fun.
This shit not fun.
Wow.
This ain't Tipsy. Where Tipsy at? But yeah, so. This song was for that target audience. It's just something that I didn't need. It was fun, but what about She Thirsty, which is like the net.
Bruh, she thirsty. Like again, like with that pattern, that beat pattern was just so great to me and so good to me. It really catches your if you like you're in a club or you're in your car, you're definitely gonna love this. And the term "she thirsty," like spin it to modern times today, we still use thirsty.
Yeah, did I use thirsty before this? Probably, right?
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm sure
thirsty is like a part of our dialect.
Yeah.
We've been saying thirsty since the 90s. So
yeah, I can't really pinpoint that history, but we still use it to this day. So, it's relevant.
It's still, yeah, I'd agree. And I believe this album closes out with Don't Get Mad, which is, I dare you to try to sing that chorus out loud. It's but at the same time, I mean, I get it. Like he's talking about his target audience. This is like nah, 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 if it was a song.
Yeah.
That he's just talking about like, yo, he's talking to the adults. Like, don't be mad that the kids fuck with me. Like, they like me. Which I know what he means, but it sounds crazy.
Where the fuck did this kid get all this confidence from, bro?
I love it.
The internet, bro. I feel like he was always. I feel like even before he was famous, he had. I bet you his beefs before he got famous were even better than his beefs as he was famous.
Nah, it was. It's actually a lot of. It's somewhat controversial where some people are claiming that Soulja Boy stole dances from people in Atlanta or like around Atlanta. I actually follow the dude who like is making a documentary about it. But yeah, like the snap music, the crank that, all the dances, the I forgot one. I forgot that dance. What was it?
The Dougie?
Yeah, the Dougie. Yeah, it's I guess controversial. It's a thing to like look into if you're into dance culture. But yeah, you would definitely find that a little bit of controversy on Soulja Boy's side before his fame.
Yeah.
So I think this album held up pretty good.
Don't Get Mad is my song that I would take off the album. It just doesn't really move me.
I never need to listen to this album. I never play this album, but it's one of those weird picks, like most of Felix picks, where when you listen to it, it's like, yo, I get it. Like, you fully understand it. You can't shit on this album. It's a staple. It's a timestamp. You want to know what 2006, 2007 was like? You would put this on because sidekicks were a thing. That was this Crank that embodied this era. You watch the video and like even what we didn't mention, how big the video was, the internet played a huge part in the video. Like Kylie Park is in the video and he has people come up to him, kids come up to him talking about Crank That. And he goes online in the video and watches this movement unfold. Like that's a huge part of it. So it plays a big part, but you can't shit on this album because it's a big deal. It ruffled feathers and it instilled some type of emotion. Like it moved people.
And the turnaround time was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, he might have made this album really quick, but it just fucking works. It shows how talented he is. Like, and I know some people who like used to listening to more complex albums and like waves of sounds probably found this album to be super repetitive and annoying. But I don't think that's Soulja Boy was aiming for that. Like he kind of wanted chants, like kid chants. He just got an album full of kid chants.
He was making his version of hip hop, and I think that it was brilliant. I remember that weird XXL cover with 50 Cent and Soulja Boy was on the cover, and in the interview, 50 Cent it's really funny to me, and I find it weird that nobody ever like taps into this, but like 50 Cent has like a weird affinity for like young rappers. I'm not saying anything, but like he always, when he sees them, he was like, he always says it, when I was that age, this is the kind of music that I would make. He was like, but he was in the street, so that's why he was making music in the street. But if he was growing up at this time, and he said that about Soulja Boy, and he said that about Pop Smoke. Right, so he's like, these are the two versions of who I would have been. I either would have been an internet kid, or I would have been the same person, but like Pop Smoke dancing and shit. And I think that Soulja Boy really, really like, I put more respect on Soulja Boy's name as far as things that he's done, and I think that a lot of people in the industry should, because even like as far as like production, if I was a rapper, I would try to just get him just to produce my whole album.
I agree. So this album was, this album is a time capsule. There is no other reason for you to listen to this album unless you want to know how 2007 sounds. Not shitting on the album. I literally call this a classic. I mean, like you have a lot of stuff surrounding the viral, viral opportunities, the word viral going out there. Like a lot of the songs that were like that came from here were like, Nicki Minaj's Dunk song, remix. You have Lil Wayne getting a song from here. Soulja Boy, like this is like a lot of hits on here. Ringtones, that was big. So everybody had a Soulja Boy ringtone song. Like this really, really is a classic album. Not so much of the lyrics, but as much as like the movement around it and the movement of Soulja Boy. So, this is one of those albums where you can you have to talk about it. Like you have to talk about Soulja Boy. no matter what, because it's just that's a fact and you can't deny it.
Agreed.
I think like albums before were like super commercial and, like I said, polished and presented, and the internet was still kind of new, and Soulja Boy just he yawed his way right through that fucking door, bro. Like I don't Soulja Boy was so perfect because he was so unafraid to do what he wanted to do. And I kind of made other artists kind of do what they wanted to do.
Yeah. He made it. He did open that door for, like, he opened a door for that type of creativity and not being afraid of, like, exploring different types of shit. So I think I agree with you on that.
Or just being bad on purpose. Like, who the fuck cares? Like, I'm gonna make a song. I know you. There's probably people in the studio who hated some of those songs. I said, "Well, I don't give a fuck."
Mood board music.
Yeah. He's like, "Fuck it, pass it to A-Rap."
So I want to hear you guys' ratings.
I got a 5.
Okay, Julius.
You already know 5 out of. That last song fucks it up for me. That last song really does fuck it up for me. But I will call it that last song. I'll call it a 5 out of 5.
I give it a 3 out of 5. Because, and I'll tell you why. There's 3 songs that I absolutely don't need to hear. I wouldn't listen to this album unless Felix asked me to. I'm more impressed by the impact that he had, the impact that this album, the trajectory that it put it on for the album. So I wouldn't consider the project a classic, but I consider his career a classic.
And I'd agree with that sentiment and give it a 3 as well. Because I just can't shit on this. It's very interesting. I can't shit on this album because, the impact that it had is crazy. The impact that Soulja had was crazy for his first album out the gate. Can't completely shit on this album. I give it a 3.
Yeah, and with that, when you even it out, it rounds it out to a 4 out of 5. People are going to see that. LaShawn is going to listen to this episode and be like, "Yo, y'all niggas are turning y'all backs on hip hop." LaShawn low-key tried to call me a sellout, and I had to check him about it. He was like, "Yo, I can't believe that you did that album." Which album was it that we did that he couldn't believe it? I forget, but
it was Playboy.
Okay, Playboy Cardi, and I was like, "Yo, bro, like, you think we're only supposed to do albums that like we like 100% like? Like, it's investigating an album to find out if it's trash or if it's really good. How like, if we don't listen to albums that we think are trash, how like." What are you talking about? He was like, "I'm just saying, I'm more about my standards. I wouldn't listen to that." And I'm like, you don't understand the concept of this podcast, do you? We're supposed to listen to albums that we don't like. I was like, actually, I think it makes for a better episode sometimes. We had one episode where everybody was like, "Yo, what the fuck did we just listen to?" But yeah, I'm hoping to do a Kevin Gates album soon. I'm gonna sneak that in there.
A lot of people like Kevin Gates. I just don't care about that.
Yo, bro, in the Midwest and down south, Kevin Gates is a god.
We gotta close this out.
He is. I'm just saying.
So we will close it with that. Those are our ratings. I challenge you to listen to this album and take something away from it and hit me up, hit any of us up. Tell us how you feel. I'm First Class Regg.
I'm Taurian B.
And we out of here.
Peace.
Peace.